So I have a timer set. I'm doing laundry right now, and once that timer goes off, this video I think will be done. not to put a a timer on it, timeline, but I guess I'll keep myself concise. This video's late. I normally post videos on Tuesdays, and this is deliberately not coming out on Tuesday. This has like a heavy tone to it in the beginning. It's really not supposed to, but it's another thought-provoking, hopefully introspective video. This was actually going to be 2 videos. Oh, look, Quote's talking, so you know it's uplifting. This was going to be 2 videos, and I feel like, why the hell not just try to combine it into one? Because I was wondering, how do I bridge these 2 topics? And I was like, well, if my brain can think of both, then surely there's a way I can tie them together. I guess first things first, change. Change is good. If you would have asked me that when I was younger, I hated change. And I guess for sake of reference, yeah, I cut my hair. It probably still looks long, but significantly shorter. If you watch some of my earlier videos, I talk a lot. Well, I talk a lot, I guess, in general on my videos, but I talk about changing my hair up all the time. And I've always liked doing that, changing my appearance. And let's start here. Let's start with why I had this revelation of a thought for this video, right? So I'm going to visit some of my family. And since I'll be gone, I had considered making 2 videos. To span time while I was gone, to keep content on the channel. And I was making good pace, but for me to get basically at least 2 videos done in a week would be an extraordinary amount of effort and time. It would be pretty fucking taxing. I've done it, but I was thinking about having to do it, and I even got my video done for the previous week early so that I had time, but I was exhausted. And I was going to put in the extra effort to try to get it done, and just thinking about doing what was kind of killing me. When I have a specific room in my house, which is like a spare bedroom, but I use it as my office. That's where I record. It's where my desk is. It's where you're at with me right now. And I was not wanting to go into this room. I would still draw and do things and get on my computer, but I would take it out of my office and go sit on my couch and do it, because the idea of being in my office means that I had to work, which I inherently felt conflicted about, because I like this. I like providing content. I like making videos because I enjoy them. But the idea of forcing myself to do it was a lot. And it's interesting because I haven't been making videos really that long, a few months, but I already can sense where burnout can happen. I can already feel the periphery of, if I keep the same trajectory, that I won't like doing it, because I don't like going into my office. And I had to think about why that was. And it's because I didn't want to force myself to make content. I didn't want to force myself to make videos and be structured to this every Tuesday type of scenario. What you hear with YouTube is that the algorithm is fickle. But more than that, I've heard that, well, if you're consistent, then YouTube will notice that and it'll help promote your videos, and you'll have a better chance of it getting seen by people, which is great. But also, I've been doing that, and it's not like it's made a difference anyway. The only thing it's done is put me under a crunch, under a deadline. And more to that point, I already felt that I needed to do that. I felt like I wanted to keep energy. I wanted to get noticed, because I want to be able to do this, because I want to be able to make videos that can sustain me and provide enjoyment for myself and for other people. And I felt like if I wasn't putting everything I had into it, then how the hell would I be successful? If I wasn't slaving away and being basically subservient to my content, then I wasn't doing enough. And it's interesting because I had a conversation with my friend, who we're probably going to do a collaboration video together at some point, which I'm pretty excited about. But I had a conversation, and we have some deeper introspective conversations, go figure. And in that conversation, I don't know how it came up, but we were talking about being a workaholic. And I had mentioned how I'm not one, or I felt, I said something to the effect of like, well, yeah, I don't really like, you're a workaholic, but I don't really consider myself one. And I didn't say it like offensively. I didn't say it like, oh yeah, you work too much, or something to that effect. But I said it in the regard of, I am not one. I don't identify as one because I didn't think I was good enough to be one. That's pretty fucked up once you really think about it, because my mentality is that, well, if I'm not putting everything I have into something, then maybe it means that I don't care about it, that I'm not showing that I care enough about it. If I'm not bleeding from my fingertips from drawing 24/7, then clearly I don't care enough about it to be successful. And that's such horseshit, because I know I put a lot of effort in. And I think it's evident probably from my last video where I put 180 hours into my piece. But I feel like if I'm not working every single second on it, then what am I doing? I'm not doing enough. And it's about giving yourself that freedom to take breaks. And that's one topic of this video, is taking breaks. And I'm not taking a break from making videos. Let me be clear on that. I'm still going to be making videos. I'm not like 3 months in and he's out. He's kaput. I'm saying that you need to hold yourself to a standard that's fair. To the standard that you would hold yourself, the standard that you would hold other people to. And maybe for you, that's also warped. Maybe you expect too much out of people. And I know I can fall into that as well, because I expect a lot for myself. But it's holding yourself to the standard of, if you run yourself into the ground, nothing's going to happen. If you destroy yourself, then all those goals and aspirations you have mean nothing, because you're not going to be there to enjoy them. You need to take time for yourself to realize that I'm going to get there. I can't force it to go any faster. I can't upload to a quick schedule. I can't make things happen that are out of my control, because those are just going to happen naturally. And accepting that is difficult, because it means that you don't have control. And it's releasing the control that you think you have to have more control over what you do have. And I have control over the ability to take breaks. I have control over the ability to protect myself, my integrity, my happiness, because what I was doing is I was sacrificing that. And I think it starts innocently. It starts from the standpoint of, oh, I'm just, I like this, so I'm working on it, and I'm putting my effort into it. But what it devolves into, for me, is that it becomes 3 days straight of working on something, and I get extremely exhausted, and I don't move enough, and I don't focus on other things because I'm so hyper-focused on the one thing that's supposed to matter. And it does lead to that burnout, and it does lead to those feelings of unhappiness, even though I'm doing something that's supposed to bring me happiness. And, moreover, it, for me, stifles my creativity tremendously, because what I'm doing is I'm focusing on the next thing. I'm focusing on the next project, even in the middle of making the one I'm making now. And it leaves no room to really let yourself explore and be creative and come to realizations that you might find, because you're so focused on what happens next. And you're so focused on getting this done for this date because it meets this criteria. And you're not leaving room to just be a human being and experience the world around you and come to interesting ideas. So, thank you, Quoth. What I've come to realize is that taking that time for me is hugely beneficial. Allowing myself to change, even though it scares me, because I'm releasing control. And it is intimidating, and it is uncomfortable for me, but I know it's what I need to do, because the change that I've already implemented in my life has been extremely beneficial and has put me in a place that I am happy, and I don't want to devolve into a place where I'm not. And, what does this mean? Does this mean that I'm not releasing videos? No. Does this mean that my videos won't come out on Tuesdays? Sorry for Quoth's tale. No. What it means is that I'm not going to force myself to have things happen every single Tuesday. I'm going to make videos as I see fit, and I'm going to release them maybe on Tuesday, but when it feels applicable, when I'm done. Not every single week because it has to happen, because that's not realistic. And if it happens that way, if it shakes out and you see a video on a Tuesday every single week, then that's just coincidental. And that's not to the standpoint, well, let's say that it's not 100% deliberate. It might be subconscious. But it's not to the standpoint that I'm forcing myself and I'm sacrificing my life for this little thing that I'm calling a passion. I'm not subservient to my passion. My passion is subservient to me. And that's a difficult way to approach it, but it's the way that I have to approach it in order to be happy. And it's interesting because in this week, I decided this last weekend, and I kind of let myself just chill most of the week. That was not doing anything. I've been working on an art piece for like 3 or 4 days straight to that same point of being a workaholic and having that realization. And, but it's relieving because I'm not trying to juggle so many things at once. I'm not juggling, I need to make this piece and get it completely done and then make a video entirely around it. And then that turns into like 7 days of constant work. Instead, what I'm doing is I'm working a lot on a piece that I care about. And when it's done, I'll get around to making the video about it. And that gives me so much more peace of mind. And it gives me so much more time to think about and be creative. Because just in this weekend making that piece, I've been able to just naturally come up with a bunch of ideas for different videos. And ironically, 2 of them were this video that I'm kind of merging into one. But it's allowing myself to actually be creative that I wasn't letting myself do before, or I felt like I was getting away from. I felt like I was getting to the point where I needed to just make videos to make videos. And if you look at my channel, maybe you don't feel that way. Maybe you feel there's a diversity. But just in making my last quick draw video, I was starting to feel that way, that it felt iterative. And I know that's okay. I know not everything has to be unique. Get out of the mind palace, Taliesin. But I also want to be able to bring things that I find are interesting, and I want to have videos that matter, especially if I'm spending so much time on them. What's the point of me doing it if I can't enjoy it? So, yeah, I mean, really the reasons that I was avoiding it, the reasons that I was afraid, and that's what it comes down to, right? I was afraid to release control, and I was afraid of feeling lazy. I was afraid of being perceived that way, of feeling that I wasn't doing enough, feeling that I needed to make money while I had the opportunity, or push my content so that I could generate revenue, so I wouldn't have to go back to work because I'm not working. Perhaps you have or haven't seen my videos, but I'm unemployed. I quit my job because it was so much stress, and I was so unhappy, and I felt my life in a direction that I never wanted to be in. And I've taken time for myself by saving money in that job I hated, by sort of becoming a workaholic and only having that as my life. And I don't want to repeat that process. So I'm fully working on things that bring me joy right now, and this can't devolve into that. So it's okay if this isn't lucrative or if this isn't a fast journey, because it's a journey, and I have to remember to enjoy the journey that I'm on and not just look forward to the end and not just look forward to the next step, because then I won't have anything to think about. I won't have any happiness. I won't have any enjoyment over my time here, because guess what? This journey is going to be longer than the end result. And I think it's easy to forget that sometimes. So I can't just rush towards that goal. I need to take my time with it. And yeah, so I'm actively getting back into taking walks. I'm sure that's exciting. It's the reason you clicked on this video. But you know, I'm actively getting outside every day is really the point that I'm getting to, and enjoying nature and taking time for me. And if I feel like I need to sit on the couch and be a bum, I'll do that, but it's difficult for me. So usually I'll sit on the couch and be drawing while I'm being a bum. And yeah, I mean, like I said, there's more content coming, and this is, sorry if that was loud, this is a little bit more about me, but I hope you find it relative that, you know, it's all about thinking about your life and assessing where you're at and assessing the things that really matter and the reasons why you're doing the things you're doing. You know, are you rushing towards that goal? Are you unhappy with what you're doing? And is there a reason you're doing it? Why was I avoiding my office, right? Why was I dreading making another video, even though I love it? Yeah, there's a lot of things to think about. And if you give yourself the time, it'll happen. You'll have those realizations if you're being honest with yourself. And that's where it all starts from. So now I feel like I'm rambling, and I hope in some way this is insightful or helpful for you. But yeah, so that's the video. This will be out not on Tuesday, but look forward to more videos soon because they're coming. Coffee sip. But yeah, until next time. See you then.